I'm super interested in Gen AI. Not necessarily what LinkedIn's doing at the moment though. So their new thing is, okay, we're going to take users' data, use it to train our Gen AI models, but we're not going to tell you about it. We're going to automatically opt you in. That is not right. Yep. You got to let people know that this is happening. You got to give people the choice. That is not the way to go about it, especially in a day and age where people are still trying to come to grips with Gen AI, still trying to feel confident with how people use their data. So I think LinkedIn may need to rethink that strategy.
Yep.
Hide your kids. Lock the doors. You're listening to HR's most dangerous podcast. Chad Sowash and Joel Cheeseman are here to punch the recruiting industry right where it hurts. Complete with breaking news, brash opinion, and loads of snark. Buckle up, boys and girls. It's time for the Chad and Cheese podcast.
Did we just become best friends? Hey, boys and girls, it's the Chad and Cheese podcast. I'm your co-host, Joel Dickens Cheeseman.
And I am Emi Krobwa Numolayo Beredigo. So have a go at saying that.
Holy hell. On this week's episode, LinkedIn's been busy. Jamie Dimon loves black people. And we asked the question, how many yachts can Indeed water ski behind? Let's do this.
Hospitality is the heart of our society. It brings people together to share great food, drinks, and experiences. But successfully managing a restaurant or hotel is no easy feat. That's where Harri comes in. Harri is the frontline employee experience platform that helps you build, manage, and engage great teams. With Harri, managers can easily find and hire top talent, manage timekeeping, and communicate with employees at any time from any place. Candidates and team members can quickly and efficiently apply for jobs, swap shifts, and access important information entirely from their mobile devices. And Harri's robust employee engagement tools make team members feel more connected than ever. With Harri, as an owner or operator, you get a bird's eye view of your business, from turnover cost, labor cost, employee sentiment, compliance risk, and team performance. Run your business better by understanding the power of your people. Because when your team is the heart of your business, Harri is the heartbeat. See how it transforms your business.
I'm sorry, your middle name is what again?
So Joel, I'm Nigerian. So like every Nigerian, we have 1,000,001 names. But I'll just kind of break it down for you. So it's okay. Ikiomoyemi. So can you say that? Ikiomoyemi?
Ikiomoyemi?
Yeah, kind of almost.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it.
So, or you could just call me Emi for short. And then you got the middle names of Krobwa.
Corbois.
Yeah, almost. Good. Numolayo. Beredigo.
Beredigo. I'll just call you Emi. How about that?
That's absolutely fine, Joel.
Well, welcome to the show. Thanks for filling in for Chad. Between Nashville and heading to Vegas next week, he needs a little recuperation time. So we thought it'd be a great opportunity to have you come on the podcast. Our listeners more or less don't know you. Give us who you are and kind of what you do.
Sure, no problem at all. So, as I said, you can call me Emi for short, but I am the senior manager of recruiting enablement at a tech company called Elastic. So, for anyone who doesn't know, basically what my team does is make sure that the people in hiring have everything they need to work better, faster, and easier. So, that could be, improving our recruiting processes, making sure we've got the best tech, supporting recruiter learning and providing recruiter analytics so you can make better data-driven decisions. So that's basically me.
And you're also an advisor for a little startup out of Scotland called Poetry. Is that correct?
I am on a couple of advisory boards.
Welcome to all things Scottish. Our slogan is, if it's no Scottish, it's crap.
Wow, where did that come from? I love that.
I've never heard that one before. Right? Oh, you're going to hear all of them on the show today. So I'm curious, you work for a company called England Touch. What does England Touch do?
So it's basically, now don't kill me for saying this, but it's basically the better version of American football. So, like how in America, you're on the sport. Yeah. Oh, okay. No, honestly, it is. You have to watch it. It's absolutely brilliant. So I've been playing touch rugby probably for about probably about 5 years after I got injured playing contact rugby,
Okay.
and then needed a softer kind of sport. So I got into touch rugby. This was back in Dubai where I used to live.
Yep.
And then when I got back to the UK, you know, somebody reached out for me from England Touch, said, would I like to get involved? And I said, absolutely.
So basically touch football, if you will.
Okay.
Roughly. So it's a less aggressive contact form of football or rugby.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. That's not where my mind went when I read England Touch, but you know how I am. Well, I know you're a fan of the show, and I want to give a quick story as to the day I met you. I don't know if you remember this because I think we were both a little intoxicated, but it was at RecFest. And I was with my then, I think, 16-year-old son, Cole. We were getting on the bus or the shuttle to go back to the hotel. And you heard my voice, apparently, and turned around and said something like, are you the cheese? Are you the Chad and Cheese podcast? And I said, yes. And then I think we hugged and it was great. But it was so awesome for my son to see how famous his dad is, that I was so recognized in England. So I appreciate you for that. You made the whole trip worthwhile for sure.
Joel, I have told everybody that story, but I didn't actually think it was going to be online. I was like, oh my God, you need to see what I was like. I think I've just disgraced myself in public, but I don't care. I love them.
That's so funny. That's so funny. Well, let's get to shout outs.
Don't wreck our show, you hoser.
Hey, listener. Hey, I'm seeing here that you're watching every single week. Yeah, I know YouTube, Google, they have these analytics things, and you haven't subscribed yet. I don't know what the problem is. Hopefully, it's probably Joel. I know it's probably Joel, but it's okay. It's okay. He's not here right now. Just go ahead and click subscribe. Click subscribe.
That's right. Our shout outs are now sponsored by Kiora, the text recruiting solution made easy. All right, Emi, my shout out goes to a redhead coming to Ireland. I know that sounds a little weird, but are you familiar with the fast food restaurant icon in America called Wendy's?
I am.
Okay. Have you ever had Wendy's?
No, never.
Have you ever had a double stack and some spicy nugs? No? Okay.
No, I'm missing out.
So the news part of this is Ireland is getting Wendy's in 2025. And I want to share here a TikTok of an Irishman giving his comments about the move.
Ireland is getting a Wendy's. Thank you very much, America, for bestowing upon my people more of your delicious obesity. As you can see, I'm doing quite a bit of it myself. I'm very excited because I always see Americans on the television say, I'm going to go and get a Wendy's. And I'm like, ooh, processed food I haven't had. Is it fucked up that I used a southern accent there? Is that racist? I'm talking about other white people, so I think it's fine. I promise I don't think all southern people eat is burgers. I think all they eat is barbecue. It's the media's fault, don't blame me. It says they sell croissants and biscuits, but none of these things are croissants or biscuits. They're all just burger. This is a croissant. And this is a fucking biscuit. Europe invented this shit, America. You can't just go calling things whatever the fuck you want. These are all clearly burgers. You can't just give it a different name and pretend you're not eating a burger. Anyway, thank you for your culture, America, and follow me. I'm delicious.
That is brilliant. I love that.
There we go. Shout out to a little bit, make you feel at home. A little bit of an English-Irish accent there to make you feel like
it's close to home.
All right, my shout out to Wendy's. What do you got?
Okay, so I've got two, one personal and one industry. So my first one, the personal one, I've got to say, because as I said, I was very excited about coming on this show. My team knows all about it. So I will get in trouble if I don't mention their name. So big shout out to my team. So I work with a fabulous group of ladies. So Elisa, Lara, Izzy, Anastasia, and my manager RP. Hey, I made it. I'm with Joel.
Nice. Shout out to the team. Well, hopefully the team is signed up for free shit at Chad and Cheese, because if you go to chadcheese.com//free, fill it out. We're talking free t-shirts from our friends at Aaron. We're talking beer from our friends at Aspen Tech Labs. You get a selection of bourbon from Chad and myself. That's sponsored by our friends at TextKernel/Bullhorn. And I mentioned before, Kiora is now sponsoring maple syrup, Canadian maple syrup aged in bourbon barrels. And if it is your birthday, Emi, if it's your birthday, you might win some rum from Plum. That's right. Our friends at Plum are giving away a free bottle of rum if it is your birthday, and celebrating another trip around the sun of our listeners includes Jim Lowe, Eli Karstens, Ava Zills, Betsy Norris, Robert St. Jacques, Michelle Palermo, Joe Cirio, Wendy Dodd, David Anglikowski, Becky Rand, Leslie LeBlanc, Zach Martin, Katrina Kibben, and Kelly Robinson all celebrate a birthday, which leads us to our travel section of the show. I mentioned we were going to be at HR Tech next week in Vegas. That's going to be big. We've also got a trip planned to Phoenix for the Paradox user session or customer event. And then we have HR Gumbo down in New Orleans. I love me some jambalaya in New Orleans. Emi, are you traveling for work or doing anything that you want to mention?
Wow, I am very excited by this. So I probably in about, I think it's 10 days from now, I am going to Ibiza for the first time.
Oh.
Yes.
That is awesome. I've never been, but it looks like fun on the social medias.
It looks awesome. Joel, I can tell you an Ibiza boy. I cannot wait. I'm looking at the pictures. I've got my bikini ready. I have got my outfits ready. I am partying like I'm in my 20s. So just watch out for the Instagram pictures.
Okay, watch out for that. Well, that sound, as you know, also leads us into fantasy football by our friends at Factory Fix. That's right. Let's get to the leaderboard going from first to worst. Number 1 is Dean the Daddy Mackerel, David Don't Call Me Goliath Stifle, Jen the Hammer Tharp, Adam the Poet Gordon, you know him well, Action Jackson Dahlquist, Joel It's All Good at Cheeseman, that's me, Sean Diddy Horton, probably not a name he likes to carry around, Laura Liza Martinelli, Dina Perro for Pyros, Keith the Commish Sonderling, Chad, this isn't Fuchibal Sowash in the 11th position, and bringing up the rear is Christy Yamaguchi Lisbon. That is our leaderboard for this week in fantasy football, sponsored by our friends Factory Fix. You missed the topics.
Oh, no.
We'll do it again. Ready?
Let's do it again.
All right, here we go.
Topics!
All right. Well, before we get to topics, there was some layoff news. That's right, layoff news. Appcast conducted another round of layoffs, reportedly affecting 18 employees across a variety of roles, including marketing, customer service, and sales. Appcast employs a little over 500 people. So it certainly sucks for those impacted, but it wasn't a huge decrease in headcount. Unless, of course, you were one of those laid off. Obviously, that sucks for you. Quick shout out to our boy Kyle Hager, who is now open to work based on his LinkedIn profile. He was at Appcast. I'm assuming he was one of them. If so, if you need somebody, Kyle is the man. Michigan grad, worked at Hierology. He was almost 5 years at Appcast. So give Kyle a shout out on LinkedIn if you're looking for somebody. But Emi, any comments on Appcast? Do you use it? Any friends that love it, hate it? What you got?
To be honest, I can't comment too much on Appcast. I don't use it. I've never used it in the past. So I'm going to stay mute on this one.
No worries. Programmatic is still sort of new over in the old country. So at some point you probably will. 100%. They were bought by Stepstone recently. So you will be running into them. Let's get to the news, shall we? LinkedIn has been really busy lately. Here's just a few of the headlines from this week. LinkedIn launches in-feed video carousels. The LinkedIn games are fun, actually. That's from TechCrunch. LinkedIn unveils verified filter for job search. And the last one, LinkedIn starts training Gen AI on users' personal data without notification. Okay, Emi, lots of stuff coming out of LinkedIn. What caught your attention? What do you think?
To be honest, I've got comments on all of them, and especially if I start off with the games one, I didn't even realize they launched games until recently. And it really made me laugh because Joel, you probably remember this back in the day when you worked in the office where, if you wanted to take a little bit of a break, you wanted to go online, play a bit of solitaire. you had to hide that shit. You couldn't have your manager seeing you working. Now LinkedIn are saying, no, it's good. Get online, get onto the games. And in fact, when you do these games, and there's like 3 different options, all of that I was actually rubbish at. They're saying get online and actually post about it. So tell your colleagues that you're actually taking a break during work. Now, okay, I get why they're doing it. They're saying it's good to take a bit of a break. A mental health break is if you take that mental health break, you're going to be a little bit more productive when you go back to work. But I don't think LinkedIn is actually really thinking about our well-being in that way. The way I see it, and I think it's pretty transparent, it's an engagement kind of, functionality. If you're getting into the daily habit of waking up, getting online, playing one of the games, then you're probably going to stay a little bit longer, check the content, check your news feeds. And, I can see where they're going. I think most people can see where they're going. Will it work? Maybe, but you might be distracting away from the actual intention of the tool, which is a professional networking platform. Let's see.
Okay.
So
that's games.
Those are my thoughts on the games. Yeah. Verified jobs. So there's a lot of, I know there's a lot coming out in terms of verified features with LinkedIn. That's coming out that came out a couple of months ago with the personal users. Verified jobs is all about making the platform safer for, job seekers, particularly, it's tough at the moment. People are desperate for jobs in certain countries. They really find it challenging. And there's even more challenging when they're fake jobs online. So this is LinkedIn's way of saying, yeah, look, we're making that process safer for you. Fantastic. You can now go onto LinkedIn, you can search verified jobs much in the same way that you do with Instagram, see the badge with the shield. And then you can have, kind of confidence in knowing that that job is a real job from a real company. Only issue is that I found when I was playing around with it, to try and find that feature is really hard. You have to go onto the advanced searches, scroll all the way down to the bottom, find that search functionality. What's the point of hiding it? If you're going to have a feature, let people know about it. Make it easy for people to find.
Okay.
So again, we'll see how that works. And then last one, Gen AI. So obviously important topic for me. This is what we talk about day in, day out in my day job. I'm super interested in Gen AI. Not necessarily what LinkedIn's doing at the moment, though. So their new thing is, okay, we're going to take users' data, use it to train our Gen AI models, but we're not going to tell you about it. We're going to automatically opt you in. That is not right. Yep. You got to give people you got to let people know that this is happening. You got to give people the choice. That is not the way to go about it, especially in a day and age where people are still trying to come to grips with Gen AI, still trying to feel confident with how people use their data. So I think LinkedIn may need to rethink that strategy.
Yep. And what do you think about the video, the TikTokification of LinkedIn? Any thoughts?
I'm 50-50. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love TikTok. I'm the person at night, kind of started, let me just watch one video. And then 3 hours later, I'm still watching videos, but it's an interesting feature. I think it's all part of their, model of becoming more of a social platform, becoming more like the Metas, the Instagrams, the TikToks of the world. I think it could work, that short, sharp, content, delivering information. Yeah, it could work.
Yep. Okay. Sounds like you're kind of split on LinkedIn's new features.
Yeah.
Every time.
I don't play the games. I'm not a game guy. I wasn't into Candy Crush back in the day. I just don't do it. TechCrunch saying that the shit is fun, I guess, says something. And I know my wife loves Wordle and playing some games just to kind of pass the time. So it's great. Engagement goes up. Time on the app is up. That's all good stuff. I'm scared for the day when Indeed launches job games or something fun like that. In terms of the video, I like it. I think LinkedIn had stories for a while. I don't know if you remember that. You could put a story and then they're like, we're not very good at that. We're going to get rid of it. And then TikTok blew up and then we're like, maybe we pulled the plug on video too soon. And I think they've done a good job of improving video, but I started watch TikTok for the first time. It was I watched a video And then it had a little thing saying like, hey, you can scroll up and see the next video. Next thing I know, I'm like scrolling up again. And all the content is employment, business, SaaS, marketing stuff, which is, I don't know how good their algorithm is yet, but it was all content that was interesting, but it wasn't TikTok. Like I didn't feel like I needed a shower after watching necessarily. Like I didn't get bug fights and big booty Latinas on LinkedIn when I scroll up now. So I like their move into video. I think they should do more of it. I think people should get used to the format. Like typically on LinkedIn, it's sort of a landscape video, but now you need to do more like TikTok, right? The phone sized video. So I think they need to do more of that. I think companies will embrace it. I think will job seekers embrace it? That's interesting as well. So I'm down with the video. On the verified job search, love it. I think that's great. I know you didn't see it. And I think they're rolling it out. It said they're piloting the program. So I think you'll see more of it. Yeah. But you will start seeing little badges, kind of like you see check marks on social media or something that says this person is who they are or they are real. I mean, look, with AI, spam is on steroids. Job seekers are using lazy apply to apply to thousands, tens of thousands of jobs. Like we need something to verify that this is a real company or this is a real person. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be more perfect, I think, than anyone else can do. Certainly more perfect than Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Stepstone, like name your job board, who isn't doing those things. So I salute them for the verification, because that is if they get that right, that's one of the best things that they've done in a long 100%. Time. On the LLM and using your data to train their models, like I totally get that defaulting to we're gonna take all your shit sounds bad. I also don't know if people give a shit. I really like privacy. I hate GDPR. I hate that every site I go to, it's like, hey, we got cookies. Are you cool with that? And it's like, yes, fuck, yes. And then every site if I go to a site again and I know I've said, yes, I'm fine with it, they don't know it's me again. So I got to keep every time I go to the site, yes, I'm cool. And it's this bit, and if it's on mobile, it's like this half the screen. I got to so
maybe the experience just needs to be better, but I still think it needs to be up.
I'm okay with molesting my privacy. Like I'm on a platform. I'm like, this isn't my bedroom that they're listening in on. That's a whole other issue with Alexa and everybody else. So it would be really easy to say like, hey, FYI, we're using your data. Like click yes to stop or never see me again, and click and I'm gone. So I don't think people will care. Yes, should they do it? Yeah, but I don't think people really care. I don't care because I'm too boring to really matter anyway.
I care, Joel. I want to know.
All right. Speaking of dumbass, let's go to ZipRecruiter. They've officially launched ZipIntro. Ooh, that's zippy, huh? A new solution designed to accelerate face-to-face connections. ZipIntro aims to streamline the hiring process by facilitating quick video screenings and enhancing the overall efficiency of matching job seekers with employers. Emi, your thoughts on ZipIntro?
Well, I'm not going to call them a dumbass. This might work, So for people who don't know, the way ZipIntro works is that, like you said, it's designed to speed up the process, and it's all through video interviewing. So what they do is use AI to match candidates with roles faster. And then so only the best candidates go through for recruiter screening. Mm-hmm. Recruiter jumps online. They can ask, specific questions to the candidate, which they can respond to. Like I said, the whole idea is to speed up the entire process for, the entire hiring process. I think it might work, it's something different. It is something different. People, and, if you look at their feedback, and it's obviously this is their feedback, survey says that, 90% of candidates are bought in. They'll use that process again. And hiring managers have said, it works. So, they're just rolling it out. We need to see how, what it's going to be like over a period of time, 1 to 2 years to have a real answer on that. No, you know a lot of recruiters and your own experiences, this sort of this synchronous video interviewing solution. Fan, not a fan, in real life, used it, effective. What are your takeaways using products like that? Okay, so one-way videos, I personally don't really like too much. And that's for me as a candidate, because I remember applying for a job and, I was looking at myself in the screen, I was like, right, okay, I brushed my hair. Okay, my makeup's done. Answers to interview questions are prepared. And then I froze. I froze in a one-way interaction. And I must have tried to record myself about 1 million times before I was actually comfortable with it.
Okay.
So those are the pros from a candidate perspective. It's really hard to get the candidate experience right. When it's a two-way interaction, kind of like ZipIntro, sometimes you're talking to another person, so it's a little bit easier. You can shine a little bit more. You can bounce off the other person. So it's a delicate balance. But where it works for an employer point of view is really when you've got those high volume roles, where you've got hundreds of roles to recruit for.
Speed dating, right? Speed dating, yeah.
It is 100%. You got a limited amount of time to interview people.
All right. Well, your opinion is a little better than mine. By the way, ZipRecruiter stock is down 25% year to date. I just thought I'd throw that in there. It has nothing to do with ZipIntro, but ZipRecruiter keeps playing catch up. Little known fact, maybe because it wasn't that exciting then, it's not that exciting now. Indeed has had this since 2020, and even LinkedIn added video to recruiting in the same year. By the way, 2020 pandemic, COVID, everybody's on video. Everyone's launching a video product. ZipRecruiter didn't do it then, but they're doing it now. So they're a little bit slow on the innovation side. The marketing around this caught my attention because it was two dudes chatting on video, having a good old time. And I thought, who doesn't like video? And sex, like I put myself out there, but like a lot of Zoom calls I'm on, the women black themselves out. They don't want to be seen, right? And I don't know if that's sexist, but like there are women less so than men that I've noticed want to be on camera. And how about talk about inclusivity? Yeah. People with speech impairments, visual challenges, just are awkward, have mental challenges and disabilities. So like there are a lot of people that don't want to do video, that would rather do text or email or messaging. And so I kind of wonder if the whole video thing is really bad from an inclusivity and diversity side of things. Now, that's not ZipRecruiter's fault, but I think all video products have that challenge. Zip promises to match you with only, quote, new, active, and engaged candidates. I don't know what that means. I know new, maybe, I don't know how new is new. Is it 6 months? Is it 6 weeks? I don't know. Allegedly, their fill algorithm is so magical that they can now match you with these people and get video interviews set up. So most companies can't get AI right. ZipRecruiter, I don't know. Let's see if they can get it right. Their testimonials, I love this. On the site, their testimonial. This is ZipRecruiter. This is a public company with big brands who use ZipRecruiter. You think they'd get some good brands to be a pilot for this and testify? Yeah. So their testimonials are from Artage Portraits.
Good.
Have you been to Artage Portraits? Yeah.
I haven't, but I feel like I need to. Ameritech
Staffing, who looks like their logo was built in Windows 95, and then ADMA Biocenters. I don't know any of those. Like they couldn't find a middle of the road brand that people might know. Anyway, so if they can't get a good known company to vouch for this thing, I can't buy it. I think it's a lot of nothing, man. All right, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about more news in recruiting. All right, Emi, let's talk some DEI and RTO. Big company CEOs were in the news this week At a recent conference, CEOs like Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan Chase, one of Chad's favorites, he's sad he's not on the podcast to diss Jamie Dimon. He reaffirmed a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, emphasizing its business benefits and moral importance. Interesting. While over at Amazon, another big company, CEO Andy Jassy issued a memo to all staffers this week that said they will be required to work in the office, quote, the way we were before the onset of COVID, end quote. All right, Emi, let's talk a little DEI and RTO. What are your thoughts on the news this week?
I'm going to repeat that again. Boo. What the hell?
Oh, we got a sound bite for that one. There we go.
I don't know what they were thinking. Why would they enforce this RTO? This is literally ridiculous. And do you know what? I think it's a bit of sadly, a trend that I'm seeing at the moment, because I think around 2020, obviously everybody was like, yeah, DEI is important. It improves the bottom line. It's the right thing to do. It was on everybody's company's page. People were openly talking about it. But I think what's happened over the years is that slowly companies are retreating. People are not focusing on it anymore. People are becoming silent, or they're just kind of diminishing their voice when it comes around DEI, and that's despite all the data that's out there, all the benefits, all the reasons why it's good for a company to actually focus on this. And I don't really know why this is happening. I don't know if this is because people are just bowing to pressure from, like real conservative, kind of strong kind of viewpoints. I don't know. But it's wrong. And so when we're talking about, RTO and how that, the return to office, a lot of companies are using the argument of you need in-face interaction, and that's where the ideas flourish, and this is where we can build a company culture. You don't need to be in person touching the person next to you to build a company culture. We proved that over the last 4 years. What they're doing is forgetting that by forcing people to come back to the office, they are basically alienating certain groups of people. They're making it harder, for example, people with parental responsibilities. People can't drop off their kids, or they're going to find it harder to drop off their kids and get to the office at 9:00. They're making it harder for people with, from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, because perhaps their office is in a prime location, and maybe over the last couple of years they moved out to a cheaper neighborhood. Because they could work remotely, you're disadvantaging those people. You're disadvantaging people with disabilities. Not all offices are set up for people with physical disabilities, for example, or even like non-physical disabilities. And even if the offices are set up in that way, what about that commute into the office? I think about London, and I can use a personal example. My dad had a disability. For him to get into central London, that is impossible. We have to, in the wheelchair, get him up and down stairs because our local train station doesn't have a lift. You're disadvantaging those people as well. So I am really against this.
Well said. Well said. I love when you say people with marital challenges, you mean mothers, right? Let's be honest. All right, I know all right, few dads, but mothers thrived during COVID and work from home. So
absolutely,
in America, DEI has been politicized to death. I don't think Europe has had a similar situation, but it's unfortunate that companies that are embracing this have to rebrand it. They have to it's a different thing. It's the same thing under a different name. I know Sherm, it's now D&I. And when we were in RecFest recently, Torrin Ellis, who I'm sure you know, a champion of diversity, called it D&I as well. And I asked him about that, and he said, well, we're all going towards the same thing. I don't really care what you call it. So take that for what it's worth. I do think that if you're going to talk the talk, you need to walk the walk. And if you go to JP Morgan's leadership page, it's not exactly a rainbow of diversity. It's not exactly, especially the executive suite. It's a lot of vanilla. There are quite a few women. Applaud that. Now, if you go to their board of directors, I think they do a pretty good job. of representing a lot of different people. But I think you have to walk the walk, and they're by no means the worst. Even companies like Nike, who should be definitely champions of diversity back in the day, had a hard time doing that. But what I think you encapsulated beautifully is it's hard to be pro diversity and inclusion, but say get your ass back to the office, because all of the elements you talked about, mothers, disabilities, less fortunate, commute, abilities to commute. I'm shocked that your father didn't have like a government lift to get him. Like that's the government, right? In England, that surprises me. But all of those things are true. And if you're going to be pro diversity, it feels like you need to be a little bit of pro ability to work from home and bring people into the sphere that way. So I can't say it any better than you did. But being RTO and D&I is a little bit, I don't know. It rings a little hollow to me. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
All right, which brings us to Indeed. Indeed has a message for customers who enjoy free company pages. Let me see if we can get we have some hidden footage from Indeed's call with customers about company pages. Here you go.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
That's right. In an email to customers this week, Indeed said they'd be doing away with free features in their company pages, like a header image. That's right. No free images. No free images on your page. Custom links on the Why Join Us page. Social media links on the Why Join Us page, and custom content on, you guessed it, the Why Join Us page. Emi, your take on Indeed being against freedom? I mean, free.
My take is, I think they're trying to kill their company. I think they're trying to get rid of customers. And if that's their goal, they're doing an amazing job at it, you know, because they're already not great. They already don't have that many customers. They're already bleeding customers. So doing this, well done. I applaud you. Yeah, will Indeed be around in a couple of years' time? I doubt it.
Wow, you just painted a grim picture for Indeed. Yikes.
Sorry, Indeed.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm not going to dig a grave quite yet, but this is what happens when you let the number 2 review site buy the number 1 review site. You basically, I don't want to say monopoly on the whole employer brand thing, but it kind of is. Now you can argue and say like, well, a lot of people have company pages. Here's where Indeed is uniquely fit to stick it to customers. Okay. Indeed, as you know, used to own the SEO game, used to own search rankings. Glassdoor was right there in regards to, when I do a search, what is it like to work at Nike? What is it like what's it like to work at a company? There are a lot of those searches done still today. And if you do those searches, more or less the only companies you see are Indeed and Glassdoor. Hopefully you see the actual company page, but nobody cares about that because it's just the company jerking off to itself. No, job seekers don't give a shit about that. So as long as Indeed and Glassdoor have you by the short and curlies, you're going to have a presence as a company on these sites, and they're going to pay, because SEO and Google, they still have a place there. They may not show up for jobs as they used to, or job searches, but they are still the primary way on Google that people find what it's like to work at a company. So I think for a lot of companies, they're going to feel like, I have no choice. I got to pay the tax, the Indeed tax that I'm sick of paying that keeps going up, but I got to do it because I have no other options.
What about the smaller companies who can't afford it? They don't have the budgets of the big corporates. What are they going to do? They can't pay for it.
They're out of luck. Emi. They're probably out of business. They don't have an image anyway to put on the site. Jesus Christ.
That's harsh, Joel. Joel, so harsh.
I know. All right, let's take another quick break, and we'll come back and talk about CareerBuilder and Monster.
You dumbass. Are you looking to boost your job ads performance? And are you looking to empower your recruiters to connect with your candidates at a much deeper level? Well, video is the best way. Collecting authentic video content from your employees, talking about why they love working for your company and why they've been there for X amount of years, absolutely skyrocket your metrics, such as your application rates, improving your SEO, driving more traffic to your career site, and even attracting better candidates that are sick and tired of the good old job ad jargon that they see out there in the world. JobPixel is trusted by some of the top companies in the world, such as Cognizant, US Cellular, Boston Medical Center, Arkansas Children's Hospital, and many more. Reach out to our team today to get a custom business case showing you how to improve your metrics at a level you've never seen before. We can't wait to show you what video can do. Thanks.
All right, Emi, a story I'm looking forward to not talking about ever again, hopefully. CareerBuilder and Monster have announced in a news release, that's right, there was no press conference because press didn't care, but they had a news release that their merger has been completed. The new company will be called, ready for this, CareerBuilder plus Monster. A little plus.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I wonder how much they paid the ad agency to come up with that one. CareerBuilder plus Monster.
I reckon a lot. That's really creative.
Yeah, they probably paid $100,000 to get a focus group to run that name by everybody. So both websites will be maintained. We have reason to believe that the same jobs on CareerBuilder are starting to be the same jobs on Monster. Shocker, right? So job seekers aren't winning in this relationship. At least for now, they're separate. My money's on Monster as the brand, but the press release came out of Chicago, which is where CareerBuilder is headquartered. The current CEO of CareerBuilder, Jeff Furman, will be leading the new company. The executive team consists of 4 CareerBuilder executives and 3 Monster executives. What could possibly go wrong? Emi, what are your thoughts on CareerBuilder plus Monster?
Ooh, my thoughts, they're not really positive. Like, these two kind of dinosaurs, can I call them dinosaurs in a game?
Sure, we do. we do, yeah.
Coming together. I'm not sure if it's going to make much of a difference or much of an impact. People are not using these brands and putting them together. I don't think people are going to be really flocking so much, like to say, to Monster, So I'm not convinced. There's better people out there. Even Indeed's doing a better job than these 2 people. So,
and Emi says they're dead in a year, so nobody's going to be around now. It's definitely Monsters, dinosaurs. The meteorite's coming now. Monster's still a thing in Europe. No, I mean it's still kind of hanging out. Not really.
Not really.
No.
Yeah, not really. It's a dying brand. It really, really is. They're better brands. LinkedIn's, kind of dominating Europe. There are other brands, even like competitors to LinkedIn, that are dominating Europe. Monster, CareerBuilder, they're way down.
Actually, this just in, there is a press conference right now going on. Let's cut right now real quickly to the press conference. That's right. Not much going on there at the press conference. You said it correct. Dinosaurs. It's like if 2 dinosaurs cuddle together, can they survive longer after the meteorite hits the earth? Like maybe, but they're still going to die. Private equity has come in. They're going to cut the hell out of staff. They're going to cut everything that's duplicitous. They're going to suck all the profits they possibly can. And then they're probably going to go buy ZipRecruiter and then do the same to them and just have all these job boards get sucked into private equity hell and be sucked for every nickel, dime, and profit they can possibly get out of it. So I really hope we stop talking about CareerBuilder Monster because they really don't matter. But a lot of our listeners are old school people and still love hearing about Monster, which brings me to, Emi, our dad jokes of the week, with talking about monsters. All right. It's Halloween. Halloween is coming. Halloween is around the corner. So let's get to some quick dad jokes. All right. Ready? What did the grandfather werewolf say to his grandson after not seeing him for a year?
Oh my God. What did the grandfather
werewolf say to his grandson after not seeing him for a year? You grew some.
I want to say something like, "Oh my
You grew
God."
some.
No,
All right,
no,
what did Frankenstein turn on during the summer?
I have no idea.
The scare conditioner. Not air conditioner. Get it? They don't have those in England, so you might not get that joke. The scare conditioner. All right.
That wasn't good.
We'll close with this one. On what day do monsters eat people?
Scares Day?
Tuesday. Get it?
Oh,
Tuesday. Oh, boy. Emmy, thanks for hanging out with me today. For any of our listeners who want to connect with you, where do you send them?
You can find me on LinkedIn, so not under my full government name, but look under Emi, so EMI Beradugo. You can spell that phonetically. And yeah, hit me up, send me an invite, and I will accept and get back to you.
Love it. And with that, another one is in the can. I know you're excited for this part. We out.
Did I miss it? We out. We out.
Thank you for listening to, what's it called? A podcast. The Chad. The Cheese. Brilliant. They talk about recruiting. They talk about technology. But most of all, they talk about nothing. Just a lot of shout-outs of people you don't even know. And yet you're listening. It's incredible. And not one word about cheese. Not one. Cheddar. Blue. Nacho. Pepper Jack. Swiss. So many cheeses and not one word. So weird. Anywho, be sure to subscribe today on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. That way you won't miss an episode. And while you're at it, visit www.chadcheese.com. Just don't expect to find any recipes for grilled cheese. It's so weird. We out!